In the last video, we have discussed about the fat content of human milk and what are the components present in human milk of fat source. So before I continue the discussion regarding fat, I would like to focus on whatever has been written on the board so that you can note it down. So, there is a point that human milk contains lipase ensuring digestion of fat. You may have a question that in case of adults, our body is dependent on bile. Our digestive system is dependent on bile for digestion of fat. Until and unless bile comes, converts the large fat molecules into small droplets, lipase is not able to work on the fat and digestion of fat does not take place or is incomplete. Then bile, presence of lipase is enough in case of infant, irrespective of presence or absence of bile. In case of infant, what we have already seen that mother's milk contains 90%, human milk contains 98% of the fat content in the form of triglyceride. Why bile is required? Bile is required so that lipase can work on it and can convert complex structures of fat into triglyceride and fatty acids. Right? But if it will already be in a stage of triglyceride and fatty acid, so bile does not need to convert anything in small droplet to make lipase work. It is already in the form where most of the digestion has been done. Now only lipase will convert it to the most absorbable form. That is why presence of lipase is enough in case of infant. Presence of lipase in human milk is enough in case of infant. It does not depend on the presence of bile. Okay, so the next micronutrient, we are done with the macronutrients, carbohydrate, protein and fat. The next micronutrient I will discuss about is vitamin and minerals. Okay, so vitamins and minerals, as we know, again for the first 6 months, whatever the newborn will receive from from mother's milk. So human breast milk is supposed to be adequate in all micronutrient content also. Okay, so vitamins is the next category we will discuss about. Human milk contains all the vitamins in a balanced amount. Okay, we all know there should be a ratio maintained between the micronutrients when it comes to minerals and vitamins, so that they can work best and they can be utilized best. Okay, another advantage is human milk does not need to be boiled. Does not require boiling, so the loss of vitamins due to heat will be minimal, or there will be no loss of vitamin due to application of heat. So no loss of vitamin due to application of heat. So this is another advantage of human milk, that vitamins are not wasted due to heating. Human milk helps in better absorption of folic acid. Better absorption of folic acid. Okay, and the last but not the least, vitamin C and E content of human milk is higher than cow milk. So these are the advantages of human milk from the aspect of vitamin. Okay, before I move to the next point, that is minerals, I'm focusing on whatever I have written on the board. Okay, and folic acid. Why absorption? As human milk will help in absorption of folic acid, that will be considered as a very important factor, because folic acid is required for formation of blood, formation of RBC, immunity. For immunity, folic acid is very much important, and this is the stage of life where the newborn will develop immunity. So anything which will boost up the immunity is very much necessary for the infant. And as better absorption means better utilization, better availability of that nutrient. So again, we can conclude from this discussion that all human milk is anyway better than any other source for a newborn. Okay. So I'm moving to the next top category and moving to the next subheading, that is minerals. Okay, so we will discuss about minerals now. Beside having proper balance of all the vitamins, it has a very good balance of minerals also. In human milk, calcium and phosphorus is present in adequate amount, and these two are very important for proper growth and development of bones, right? And this is the phase of life where bone and skeletal development will take place. So these two nutrients has to be provided in sufficient amount. Calcium content is 28 gram of human milk, and the ratio of calcium and phosphate is 2:1. What you have learnt in class 11, this is the ratio in which calcium and phosphorus is used best. Rather, this ratio has to be maintained for proper mineralization of bones and proper utilization of calcium and phosphate for formation of the enamel of bones and teeth. Okay. So, phosphate ratio of calcium and phosphate is 2:1, which makes it very good for supporting skeletal growth. Okay. The iron content is very low of human milk, but the very minimal amount of iron present in milk is absorbed very well. But is very low, but is absorbed very well in the body of the infant. Again, it makes whatever the amount of iron present in it entirely available to the infant's body, and again it proves the human milk to be the best for source of milk for the infant. Copper content of milk is very good. Again, copper is required for blood formation, brain development and all. And enhances zinc absorption. Okay. So again we can conclude from the discussion of mineral content of human milk that human milk can be the best source to provide best nutrition to the child. Another point we need to remember that human milk contains a very good amount of water which do not allow the baby to dehydrate. So before I finish this video, I am focusing on whatever I have written on the board. First 2 points, first you copy, then I will move to the second point. In the next session, I will continue the discussion regarding the immunological factors of human milk, which is a very important aspect of human milk, because infant receives all the immunity from the mother. Thank you.